A word processor is an electronic device or computer software application that performs the task of composition, editing, formatting, and sometimes printing of documents. The word processor was a standalone office machine in the 1960s, combining the keyboard text entry and printing functions of an electric typewriter, with a recording unit, either tape or floppy disk, with a simple dedicated computer processor for the editing of text. Although features and designs varied among manufacturers and models, and new features were added as technology advanced, word processors typically featured a monochrome display and the ability to save documents on memory cards or diskettes. Later models introduced innovations such as spell-checking programs, and improved formatting options. As the more versatile combination of personal computers and printers became commonplace, and computer software applications for word processing became popular, most business machine companies stopped manufacturing dedicated word processor machines. As of 2009, there were only two U.S. companies, Classic and AlphaSmart, which still made them. Many older machines, however, remain in use. Since 2009, Sentinel has offered a machine described as a word processor, but it is more accurately a highly specialized microcomputer used for accounting and publishing. Word processing was one of the earliest applications for the personal computer in office productivity and was the most popular application on home and personal computers until the World Wide Web rose to prominence in the mid-1990s. Although the early word processors evolved to use tag-based markup for document formatting, most modern word processors take advantage of a graphical user interface providing some form of what you see is what you get editing. Most are powerful systems consisting of one or more programs that can produce any arbitrary combination of images, graphics and text, the latter handled with typesetting capability. Typical features of a modern word processor include font application, spell checking, grammar checking, a built-in thesaurus, automatic text correction, web integration, and HTML exporting, among others. In its simplest form, a word processor is little more than a large, expensive typewriter-like machine that makes correcting mistakes possible before printing. Microsoft Word is the most widely used word processing software according to a user tracking system built into the software. Microsoft estimates that roughly 500 million people use the Microsoft Office suite, which includes Word. Many other word processing applications exist, including WordPerfect is favored for legal applications, and open-source applications OpenOffice.org Writer, LibreOffice Writer, Abby Word, Word, and LYX. Web-based word processors, such as Office Web Apps or Google Docs, are a relatively new category. Characteristics: word processors evolved dramatically once they became software programs rather than dedicated machines. They can usefully be distinguished from text editors, the category of software they evolved from. Text editors offer facilities for typing, storing, replaying, and usually printing text. Text editors do not format lines or documents, in fact they lack those concepts. Text editors are now used mainly by programmers, website designers, computer system administrators, and, in the case of LaTeX, by mathematicians and scientists. They are also useful when fast startup times, small file sizes, editing speed, and simplicity of operation are valued, and when formatting is unimportant, due to their use in managing complex software projects. Text editors can sometimes provide better facilities for managing large writing projects than a word processor. Word processing added to the text editor the ability to control type style and size, to manage lines, to format documents into pages, and to number pages. Functions now taken for granted were added incrementally, sometimes by purchase of independent providers of add-on programs. Spell checking, grammar checking and mail merge were some of the most popular add-ons for early word processors. Word processors are also capable of hyphenation, and the management and correct positioning of footnotes and endnotes. More advanced features found in recent word processors include collaborative editing, allowing multiple users to work on the same document, indexing assistance, creation of tables of contents, management, editing, and positioning of visual material, and sometimes sound files, automatically managed cross-references to pages or notes, version control of a document, permitting reconstruction of its evolution, non-printing comments and annotations, generation of document statistics, styles, which automate consistent formatting of text body, titles, subtitles, highlighted text, and so on. Later desktop publishing programs were specifically designed to allow elaborate layout for publication, but often offered only limited support for e-editing. Typically, desktop publishing programs allow users to import text that was written using a text editor or word processor. Typical usage. Word processors have a variety of uses and applications within the business world, home, education, journalism, publishing, and the literary arts. Business. Within the business world, word processors are extremely useful tools. Typical uses include legal copies, letters and letterhead, memos, reference documents. Business tend to have their own format and style for any of these. Thus, versatile word processors with layout editing and similar capabilities find widespread use in most business. Home. While many homes have word processors on the computers, word processing in the home tends to be educational, planning or business-related, dealing with school assignments or work being completed at home. Occasionally word processors are used for recreational purposes, e.g., writing short stories, poems or personal correspondence. Some use word processors to create reacutes, and greeting cards. But many of these home publishing processors have been taken over by web apps or desktop publishing programs specifically oriented toward home uses. The rise of email and social networks has also reduced the home role of the word processor, as users that formerly required printed output can now be done entirely online. Literature. Novelists, poets, playwrights, screenwriters, and essayists naturally gravitated toward word processing once the technology became widely available. Notable early adopters in the mid or late 1970s included science fiction author Jerry Pournelle, Larry Niven, Stanley Elkin, James Fallows, and Michael Crichton. However, the first novel generally credited as having been written on a word processor is Len Deaton's Bomber, which was composed on an IBM Mount Saint in London in 1968-9. Deaton's typist and assistant, Ms. Eleanor Handley, was the person to actually operate the machine. Some writers such as Cory Doctorow and Neil Stephenson prefer text editors to word processors.